Hi, welcome to Senior Moment, the show for seniors to watch. I'm your host, Mary Beals-Lutka. I work for NACOG Area Agency on Aging, and you can reach us toll-free at 877-521-3500. This show is sponsored and produced by the Division of Lifelong Learning with Yavapai College, and our producer is Crystal Erickson. If you'd like to get a hold of Crystal, you can call her at 717-7607, and she loves to hear from you. You might have an idea about a show in the future or a question about today's show. So please give her a call at 717-7607. Welcome to Senior Moment. Today we have a couple of guests from the Prescott Police Department. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mary. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
We have Bruce Monsher, and he's the volunteer coordinator for the Prescott Police Department, and the volunteer supervisor, Leo Becker.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're going to start out with Bruce, and I believe we're going to be talking about the Citizen Patrol and some other volunteer opportunities at the Prescott Police Department.
Well, that's correct, and I'm really here to pretty much welcome anybody who may be watching, who has a little bit of time on their hands, who wants to become involved with the community, who wants to help the Prescott Police Department, because we sure need some people right now. It's just as many people as we can get. And we're focusing mostly on the Citizens on Patrol, the COP. Probably the people out there may have seen the vehicles driving by, the white and the blue. And they are citizens who volunteer to really be a second set of eyes and ears for our police department. They help out at different traffic scenes, crime scenes. They just do so much for us. And like many police departments, without their help, our job would just be so much harder, because with them out there, they free the sworn officers to do what they do best, to solve the crimes, to investigate the accidents, to do the things. While Leo, and he'll tell you more about what he does, is out there directing traffic, the officer can be there actually investigating the crash and taking care of the victims. So we like and need more people. How
many folks do you have right now on your COP force?
17.
Just 17. So you do need some more volunteers, it sounds like. So how far would you like to grow? Let's dream number.
25 to 30.
Okay.
Would be just great.
So if I want to apply to be a volunteer, how would I go through that process?
Well, the best thing to do is first to give me a call.
Okay.
As a volunteer coordinator, I will take the initial call. And should I give you the phone number now, or you do that later?
What's the number?
It's, of course, area code 928-777-1952.
Okay.
That's my direct line at the police department. And usually when people call, they'll have a lot of different questions. And I'll go over each and every part of it, exactly what to expect and what we expect from the people that may be applying. I'll go over the criteria, what it takes. You know, there are some minimum qualifications, I guess you can say, or standards that we have. Make sure they meet those. And then I give them an application, and we go from there.
So could you give me some example of minimum qualifications? I mean, do I have to be a certain age?
Yes, we ask everybody to be 21 years old.
Okay.
So hopefully your audience is going to be at least 21 years old.
I think I've got that one.
Yeah, we ask that they can volunteer at least 16 hours a month, 4 hours a week. Okay. Now, we would like more, and Leo can, sometimes he's here just so many hours, I'm just amazed. But we ask 16 a month, for a week. You have to have an Arizona driver's license with a reasonably good driving record, and that's something I will discuss with them one-on-one if they have any questions about it. We do a criminal history checks, no felony convictions, things like that. And I think one of the most important, we like to think of us as a very professional organization. We try very hard to gain the support of the community, and we want our COPs to go out there and project that same professionalism. Be out there and be a good representative for us. And that's about it, and then anything else, I talk to them one-on-one if there's any issues they may have.
So the senior Citizen Patrol volunteers, or not senior, just Citizen Patrol volunteers, they actually get to drive a car?
They drive a car. We give them proper training before they drive. Mm-hmm. We don't just give them a car and turn them loose. There's an extensive program on training. Mm-hmm. We do the vehicle, we do pepper spray, traffic, how to help somebody, strand motorist, how to help them out. If we get a call from dispatch that there's a bad accident, we need to get there. You try not to break the speed limit too far and get there, relieve the officer, take over the traffic situation, turn him loose.
So how long have you been a volunteer, Leo?
Let's see, what is it? 2 years and 9 months.
And what made you choose this volunteer opportunity? Because obviously there's a lot in the area.
I did this because I wanted to give something back to the community. And this is a good way to do it, and it's very rewarding.
You know, it helps the city out.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you know, because I see the cars driving around. So I've talked to you, and I've gone through the minimum qualifications and filled out my application. Obviously, I'm sure I have to give references
Correct.
and all that good stuff. Because you certainly want to protect, like you said, your reputation. And I certainly understand requiring a minimum amount of hours, because how long is the training?
It takes, we work on it probably 2 days a week for 3 weeks, or for 3 days a week, depending on the individuals, how fast they take it.
And that's
They
a lot
can
of
go-
training time,
Yeah.
you know, to invest
There
in
he
it.
is. And then after this, Leo sets up ride-alongs. They will ride with a more experienced volunteer, make sure they really understand it. In fact, Leo's kind of criteria. If Leo feels, okay, you've got it, then you're kind of released and go on your own. But we're going to make sure, and Leo's very careful, and I'm glad he is, to make sure that everything is understood, that you know exactly what your job is. And that's important to understand. You're not a sworn officer. We don't expect you to be out there foot pursuing a felon. I mean, that's not what you do. You're
Good.
here to help us out, and that's what the training's all about.
Yeah.
We get you comfortable before we put you out there on your own.
And of the 17 volunteers, is there usually once somebody gets in the program, do they stay a long time?
Yes, yeah, we have, let's see, we have some people that have been there 11 years and 5 years, 4 years.
That's a lot of longevity when it comes to a volunteer position. So obviously it's challenging and rewarding. Do you have volunteers for all the shifts? How does that work?
Not really. That's where we're hurting.
Okay.
He tries in scheduling, and I sure would be able to use and would like to have somebody
Okay.
each and every shift. Well, we don't work graveyards, and I don't expect the volunteers to be out there at nights. But during the day shift time and the afternoon hours, it'd be great to have enough people to cover that.
Yeah, he calls and tells me he needs some help, and I try to get him some help.
There you go. So you're the man in charge of the volunteers
Yes.
once they get going.
Yeah.
So where does the training take place? Do they have to go somewhere? Do they get to do it right here in Prescott?
Right here in Prescott.
Oh, that's
They
nice.
ride at police headquarters. Is some of it's out in the car. Some of it's over at the park. Or the driving is at the park. We set up the cones. You're allowed to miss no cones. So.
Just like the motorcycle test.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't want to scare people off. It's
No.
not a
No.
police academy. We're not going to put
Oh,
them through a
good.
police academy. You know, they have a lot of fun in training. We
I
just
bet
want to
they
make
do.
sure they're comfortable. Officer calls them for assistance to help
Uh-huh.
with traffic control. We want to make sure they understand what traffic control and how they direct the traffic. And yeah, there's a lot of things. And Leo's been called out in the middle of the night several times
yeah.
because something
Oh, yeah.
happened, and they need people out there. We've got to free the officers to investigate, so they
Mm-hmm.
call the Citizens Patrol out at all hours sometimes. I mean, it's vital what they do. Absolutely vital. I'm just so
So
amazed at what they do.
So if I was willing to work at night, then I could let Leo know, yes, you can call me, or no, you can't call me. So people would have a choice to do that, obviously, because they're a volunteer. I'm sure one of the things would be worrying about safety.
Well, safety first.
Yeah.
Safety first. That's the number one issue. You don't get yourself in a position where you're going to get hurt. And
Good.
the officers, if you're working with an officer, his prime purpose is you.
Okay.
He takes care of you. Make sure you don't get hurt. He tells you what to do if you're directing traffic, where to stand. He'll holler at you, say, bring the cars through, stop the cars.
Okay.
It's,
Right. You have a full police radio with you. You have the same radio that the officers have, and that's one of the first things you're taught. You call for assistance.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Don't do anything you're not trained for.
I won't.
We teach them stay within the scope of their training. Here's what you do, and if you need assistance, you get on the radio and you call assistance.
So, I'm sure, so you got to kind of go through the driving, learn about the radio, kind of learn the rules and regs and what you can't do. More importantly, what you can't do, I would think, than what you can do.
Yeah, both. And of course,
Yeah.
you learn the fancy 10 series, the 10-4s, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So, you're integrated into our department. When you're on the shift,
That's
you are
exciting.
part of the shift. The officers have their beat numbers. Leo's got his beat number or call sign, and you are an integral part of that working shift. And we just couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
And it's just so important what they do.
You were talking earlier about, and wanted to share with our viewers, kind of the variety of talent that's come to the table, that's working with you. They're working with you as volunteers.
yeah. The 86 years old? We
Yeah.
have two ladies that were born on the same day. They're 86 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And they're out there in patrol cars doing everything the 39-year-old does, everything I do. So
Good for them.
So age is not a factor.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
you don't even think about it. You know, they come onto their shift and they are a COP, and you know the age you forget about it, and they're not the typical, I guess, 86-year-old. Not that I really know what the typical 86-year-old is.
There isn't
but they are just so active and so responsive to things. They're just great people. And like you're saying too, I mean, we do have some great talent. One of our volunteers is a retired aeronautical engineer. He worked on the Apollo missions, and the Apollo, you know, he'll tell you all the stories how he helped design the Apollo spacecraft. What are some of the other things that people have done? A telephone executive.
Yeah.
There's just a number that they do. We have I think what has pilot license. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
think top of
yeah.
my head.
Yeah.
We have a lot of talent, and that's what drew me to Prescott. I retired from California, came here, and I was just so amazed and so happy with the type of people that were here. And I think other people are coming here, and we would love to use their talents and kind of go around what we do based on what their talents are and help us.
And that's one of the fun things about retiring. You get to choose something different than you've done before, you know.
Exactly.
And so you're drawing people with a lot of talent, but maybe they've not necessarily been in law enforcement. So this is something new to learn, and learning something new is very important as we age.
That's true.
To open up new channels in our brain and have fun with it.
Oh yeah, that's a very fun thing to do.
That's what you were saying.
You just get out and ride around. People go on vacation. We check their houses, make sure that there's no water running, they haven't been broke in. We do this on a daily basis. So every day that they're gone, somebody's checked their house for them.
So that's an important thing to note. So if you're going away for a while, call the Prescott Police Department, and then the COP will drive by and check on your house while you're
Even
gone.
more than that, they'll actually walk around the property, make sure
Wow.
no doors are open, no windows are open. They'll look for anything unusual.
Excellent.
And over the years, they found broken pipes. They found people that have broken in windows, and thanks to they have called in and gotten on the list for the
Yeah.
COPs.
Excellent. And I know you were saying that there's also some other volunteer opportunities within the department too, not necessarily just driving in the car.
Right. Well, we've talked about the COPs is on patrol, and that's kind of a smaller part of what a nationwide program called the VIPs, Volunteers in Policing. And we do use other volunteers. Right now, I don't think there are any openings, but our records section uses, I think they have 6 volunteers that will help collect data, help file records, things like that. Our investigations, our detectives have volunteers that will input data into the computer, pawn shop details and things like that. We have one that works for our training section that helps whatever training the officers need and will assist with things like that. And there's just a myriad of different things. And they kind of, new things will come up. One section will say, hey, Bruce, I need somebody to help do job X. And if somebody calls in and has contacted me, I'll have a listing of what their preferences are, maybe what some of their talents are, and I'll go, I've got the perfect person here. I remember that, John or Sue called in. I'll give them a call. Are you interested? And there they are. So I invite anybody that wants to do anything or anything within the department, give me a call and we'll discuss what some of the options are. And nothing else but on the waiting list for when opportunity happens.
Kind of like a little job bank.
We've got incredible talent around here.
Yeah, we
really
do. I mean, we are very blessed. This whole area, the whole Tri-City area, I'm just amazed every day when I meet new people every day. Just been here, I think, forever, and just met you two. And so here's another connection. And the talent is amazing. And so if you're new to the area, or if you're not new to the area, this would be a great volunteering opportunity. And if you're put off by the driving the car thing around, then there's other opportunities available within the
Absolutely.
VIP program. So I think that's important, But I like the fact that you said, Leo, that it's fun.
It
too.
is.
And that's
It
important
is.
to know because we all want to have fun. It's, maybe we've been in a job 34 years and we don't want any stress per se. There's always stress, I'm sure, but I would imagine during an accident it would be like adrenaline
Oh yeah, it's
kind of a thing.
and you get out there and you direct traffic.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the public pays attention to you.
Yeah,
So it's good.
Now, and I see you have a full uniform.
Yes, ma'am.
So once you graduate, y'all get a uniform.
You right?
I like that.
And
Right, please.
that's an important part. We supply everything. We supply the full uniform, everything you see Leo wearing there. Of course, we supply the vehicles. Anything that you would need to be out there safely on the road and working, we will provide to you.
And you mentioned earlier pepper spray, so
Yeah.
you're trained to use that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't carry a gun.
No.
Okay. I think that's important to note.
No, that's None of the COPs at this time want to carry a gun.
I imagine not.
No, and in fact, I don't think anybody's ever had to use a pepper spray. I mean, it's
Never.
they are ambassadors. I mean, people respond to them, I think, better when they see a COP and come talk to them, sometimes more than they would an officer. And somebody has questions, they'll search out. I mean, if anybody went to rodeo, I'm sure you saw a COP. If you went to the fireworks,
Oh,
you
yeah.
saw a
Yeah.
COP.
Yes.
If you go to the courthouse lighting, you're going to see a COP. Just about everything. You're on the, I guess front line may not be the right word, but you're involved. I mean, the first right involved with everything that this city does, you would be involved in as a volunteer.
Well, I like that word ambassador. I think that really says it well, that you're an ambassador, because you were saying earlier how much you feel like this does for the city.
Exactly. You know, we put a lot of time in. There's people that put in many, many hours over their commitment. And anytime you call, day or night, they're ready to go. It's just, get me out and get me in a car.
Let me go, let me play.
Well, that's it. You know, I would think some people would say, no, don't call me at night. It's just the opposite. A good 90% or more. Yes, absolutely. You need me, you call me, and I will come out anytime, day or night. And I'm just amazed. You know, that's for free they're doing that, you know, just to be a part of the community, just to help and to help our officers. But they're all so willing to help.
Now, as ambassadors, do you also get called upon to speak? Obviously, you are here. On Senior Moment, but you know,
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal, for getting him here. But do you also maybe go to the schools, or they usually send the officers for that? Do you do any of those kind of activities as well?
The officers go to the schools
Okay.
and do the talking.
Okay.
We don't go. We do go to schools. We'll go to the YMCA, churches, and we will do fingerprinting for the children
Okay.
and give the prints to the adults, to their parents. So they've got them. They can put them in a safety deposit box. If something happens, they've got the kids' fingerprints.
We're starting to work on a program statewide. I'm on an advisory committee to try to work on that for Amber Alert for our seniors,
Yep.
and to do the fingerprints too, because I think that's going
And
to
we
be
highly
more and more
suggest
needed.
that the parents get their kids fingerprinted.
Very important.
Yeah. I mean, they actually do a lot. I think, coming up Saturday, we have the next movie at the park.
Yep.
I think coming up, they will be
We'll be
there.
there.
They are going to be part of the movie in the park. You'll see them walking out there, and hopefully we're going to recruit there too. We're going to hand out brochures,
Oh, good.
and maybe we'll see some of the people.
We
see
will be
this,
doing
but-
fingerprinting there too. I
Yes.
found out today.
You found out today, so you're like, I need a few more volunteers for that.
That's it.
You know, we're going to be doing a conference September 17th up at the Prescott Resort. So if you would like to be involved in any way, please let us
That's
know.
interesting.
Yeah, because it's an elder issues conference, but that might be something you'd want to be involved in too. So
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
we always want to try to reach out a hand and get information out to everybody. And I haven't had you at any of the events that I recall, so we need to work together.
Yeah, and that's good. Sometimes, just getting the word out, and people will stop him while he's patrolling or out there and ask him about the job. And word of mouth is probably the fastest and
Yeah.
the best way we get our volunteers. And the more that we can get out, well, obviously the better.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what we're doing here. We're word of mouth, so that we can bring the word right to everybody watching us at
right.
home. So, and COP, Citizens on Patrol, which
That's
is
right.
part of VIP, which is a nationwide program. Okay, I got it. I just takes me a little while
Hey,
to process
it's
all this,
confusing.
because sometimes I have senior moments myself. So, and you've been with the program 4 or 5 years, you said?
Now about two and
2
a
or 3.
half.
And you're the supervisor.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
impressed.
Yeah.
He's the only one who want to do all the paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork
That's
involved.
where it comes out.
No, you've got to have somebody that's willing to schedule,
Yeah.
not the fun things, scheduling
Yeah,
the people, to
that's
make sure
true.
training is accomplished, to make sure people are there when they're supposed to be there. And if I wouldn't even want to tell you how many hours he puts in. He puts in such, and he hasn't told you, he volunteers other places. He volunteers at the hospital. And a lot of people we find do that. Part of our COPs is kind of an overall effort to really be involved with the community and volunteer. So it's not only the COPs, they do a lot of other things.
That's typical too when you go to a community, because I cover 4 counties. I'll go right to the busiest volunteers first,
Yes.
because they're the ones like you that are really, really involved
Yep.
and want to be more involved and make Prescott look better. And again, I really love that word ambassador.
Yep.
That's very attractive.
Yeah, they really are. And hopefully we'd like to recognize them for their efforts. We have awards ceremony where they'll be Volunteer of the Year will be recognized. We have a barbecue. We try to make sure they understand just how vital they are to the police department. And there's a great group of people.
The regular officers, when you're walking through the department, regular officers stop and talk to you. You don't have to yell at them, talk to them. They'll stop you. So it's a good department. Good deal.
We're lucky to have the police force that we do here in Prescott. It's still small town USA, and being
right.
part of that is keeping it safe and projecting a good image for the
Yep.
police department. And like you were saying, your paycheck is helping.
We don't consider it money. We consider it value to the city.
I like that. See, I knew you said it better than me. I was waiting for that to come out of you. Remember earlier I said, don't forget that line. I got it out of you. It just took me a while. Value to the city. Ambassadors and value to the city. That's very nice. So if we want to, again, if I want to be a volunteer for COP, I need to go, you just call the Prescott Police Department, and you gave your number earlier. Why don't you give it again?
My direct line is 777-1952, or you can just call the direct number to the police department,
Okay.
which is 778-1444.
Which is easy.
And and just ask for me, ask for volunteer coordinator, ask for Bruce, ask for the COP, and it will get down to me. And I just love talking to you. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions, and they're going to say, boy, is that really for me? And some people get scared off initially thinking, oh my gosh, I'm out there, and and I really don't want to be a police officer. And I try to explain to them exactly what your job is going to be and how you differ from a sworn officer. We'll go over again the requirements. One thing I didn't mention is we do give everybody what we call a truth verification test. And again, I don't want to scare people off. We just want to make sure, again, that we have people that will be out there, want to be out there, that will project a positive image. And we're sure not looking for perfect people. That's not what it's about.
Well, I don't think any of us are that.
Oh,
So you'd be in
boy.
big trouble, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? So what's a truth verification test?
It's a computer voice stress analyzer, which means we'll just ask you a few questions, a trained individual will, and they'll look at your responses on the computer as you're talking, and just make sure that, for the most part, you're an honest, caring person, which is what we want out there.
Yeah. When you graduate, do you get a little certificate or any kind of recognition when you go through the training, and how does that work?
You get your badge.
The badge, the all
You
important.
get
That
your
is nice
badge.
too.
And that is presented by the chief of police.
Yeah, see, that's huge right
And
there.
it really is. And most
Yeah.
people graduate, they're very proud. And
Yes.
it is. We just had a graduation. And I guess, can I bring up one more
Please.
thing? We've talked a lot about Citizens on Patrol, but we also have a Citizens Academy is what we call. And that is just open to anybody. Even if you don't want to volunteer, you just want to learn about our police department, you want to learn about all our different bureaus, what
like that.
vehicle theft does, what detectives do, what our SWAT team does. We put this academy, we call it, together over about a month-long period. You'll have classes each week, and we'll just bring in speakers from all those bureaus. And I invite anybody. In fact, a lot of our volunteers with COPs come out of the Citizens Academy. They're so impressed with the department through the Citizens Academy, they want to stay.
Yep.
So even if you have no desire to be a COP, please call me and just sign up for the Citizens Academy. You'll meet some great people and learn a great deal about the Prescott Police Department.
See, I've heard of that before, and I was wondering if they were connected, but I can see where that'd be a good starting point.
It's all recruitment, but it's even
You
more
know.
than that. We love people. I mean, it's to get the support of the community, they have to understand what we do, and I think they have to meet us, and that's what the Citizens Academy is about. Meet the chief of police, meet our deputy chief, meet the lieutenants, meet the sergeants, and that's what you'll do at that Citizens Academy.
And feel more comfortable
Exactly.
interacting with them if
Exactly.
you have any questions. And the Citizens Academy is here in Prescott as well.
Yes, it will be.
Okay. Is it mostly classroom or?
It is classroom. You
Uh-huh.
can go out and ride-alongs if you want. If you want to ride
Okay.
along with an officer, we will get that. Sometimes we put you through our simulated, what we call a Milo machine, where you'll actually be training like the officers. You'll have this pretend gun, but you'll be shooting at a screen, and you get to see how the officers train, and it's just a lot of fun.
I think that would be fun. Did
That's
you go
right.
through that?
No, I didn't go through that. I've heard about it though. Yeah,
You've heard tell.
I came aboard before they started doing that.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, I think that sounds like fun. So we've got all kinds of opportunities for our listeners, viewers to take advantage of. Call the Prescott Police Department. We now have Bruce's direct line. See, I
Absolutely.
couldn't even get that out. Spit it out. We have your direct line, so you're in trouble now. And I really
I'd
want to
love to
thank
get
both
calls.
of you for coming here today and sharing with us about the Citizens on Patrol and the program and the Prescott Police Department, and truly, both of you are ambassadors for our community.
You're very welcome, and thank you very much for those kind words.
Thank you for being
Appreciate
here.
it.
Bruce Moncher, volunteer coordinator for the Prescott Police, and Leo Becker, the volunteer supervisor. He wasn't quite sure, but I think that probably
That's
fits
close
it.
enough.
Close enough for Citizens on Patrol for the Prescott Police Department. And right now they have about 17 volunteers and maybe room for 25 or 30. And then there's other volunteer opportunities as well. So give them a call and find out about being a COP or just going to the academy. Thank you very much for joining us today on Senior Moment, the show for seniors to watch. If you have any questions about today's show, don't forget our producer, Crystal Erickson, at 717-7607. And again, I'm Mary Beals-Lutka, and I work for NACOG Area Agency on Aging, and we want you to know that we're there for you. The Area Agency on Aging is action, advocacy, and answers on aging and other community issues. And you can reach us toll-free at 877-521-3500. And coming up real soon, right in the Prescott area, we're having a conference called the Elder Issues Conference. It's September 17th at the Prescott Resort. Now, it is a conference for professionals. However, in the afternoon, there's a free event for seniors, and it's called Tea-Lightful Afternoon at 1:30. So 1:30, September 17th, Prescott Resort, come on up. It's free. You get to go around and see vendors and hear from a nutritionist and from a pharmacist. So we hope we see you there. And this is Senior Moment. Until next time.